Mine's August. I didn't plan on slowing down this much, but the season kind of like decided for me. Have you ever been there when things technically seem right, but there's like this unsettling feeling? Over the last year, a lot has shifted for me. And instead of rushing to try and like explain it all, I really wanted to sit with the season and hear what it was trying to teach me. And because nothing was technically wrong, everything was just changing. We ended up moving twice last year. In November, we moved into our beautiful apartment in Atlanta. And then 3 months after we got here, we ended up moving to Chicago for 3 months because Bernard had creative residence at the Goodman Theater there. We planned an amazing destination wedding. We got married. And I experienced the delayed symptoms of grief inside of all of that. I learned how to hold a lot all at the same time. And individually, those things wouldn't have caused anyone to a breaking point, but layered and collectively, they asked me to live differently, to show up in a way that I hadn't had to before. And I think the one thing that stood out for me was that my body started to recognize, my nervous system started to recognize everything before like I actually had language and words for it. And I can become an avoidant. So with so many major wedding decisions, it was like decision fatigue. And then I had big work projects that I'm super proud of, but again, tiring. And then the family drama and stress that I was going through, it just like all piled up. And even journaling, which is something I love to do, it honestly just felt like too much at the time. I couldn't keep moving at the same pace and stay connected to my body. And I think once I noticed that, everything started to shift. Slowing down wasn't about quitting. It wasn't about giving up on my life or the work that I love. It was about listening and choosing to really like listen hard to what my body was saying. When life is loud, baby girl, you just gotta listen. Because for me, for a long time, wellness looked like holding space. I was processing delayed grief. I missed my dad while being in a family dispute that didn't allow me to just grieve quietly. I had to stay present. I had to advocate. I had to be alert. And on top of all of that, having to deal with someone trying to rewrite and diminish the relationship that you've had with your father, that just does something to your spirit. How do you soften when you're constantly being asked to stay guarded? And then there's the wedding planning, which was amazing and beautiful. Our wedding was top tier, but joy and grief were definitely taking turns with me during that whole season. Joy and grief were coexisting, and the closer we got to the wedding, I just started to deal with the real fact that my dad wasn't going to be there. And on top of that, I just don't think we discuss enough about how sacred seasons can be really overstimulating too. And I know for me, when I get overstimulated, I'm gonna isolate. I like to isolate and go into my cocoon. So I just stopped trying to force my reflections through words, which is most natural for me. And I just start listening to my body, going on long walks, doing hot yoga. I start lifting weights, which is very new for me. Through that whole process, and of course my morning hot tub sessions where I would really meditate and just sit and breathe and sweat. But through that, my body knew and it was regulating for itself. Eventually, I just stopped trying to produce through everything. My capacity wasn't there. And so anything that wasn't necessary, anything that felt like it was draining me, I stopped. And that decision honestly helped reshape how I understood faith and how it was showing up in my life. And God didn't rush me through this season. He allowed me to stay present in it. And in that, my prayers actually started to change. Where normally I'm praying for blessings and opportunities and maybe more money, my heart posture became, Lord, heal me. Lord, give me restoration. Lord, cover me, give me strength. And I believe that God is the God of restoration. But I also know in this season that restoration does not come fast. So there was more listening, more trust, more being guided. And I actually started a Sabbath practice. And not as a rule, but more so as a way to help regulate my nervous system. And the Lord really reminded me in this season, that rest is holy. Rest is a gift, and that's when the clarity really started to emerge. One of the biggest things this season gave me was clarity. I started to notice that when you try to do too much, especially when you don't have a clear center, anxiety shows up. Clarity regulates. Less clarity, more anxiety. And structure doesn't have to be rigid. For me, it was gentle. I wanted to create daily rhythms that my body could trust, like cooking healthy meals and moving my body. So I stopped trying to show up to everything I was invited to. I built a life pie, looking at the 8 areas of my life, and I built it around what actually matters to me. And I started to realize that burnout isn't always about doing too much. Sometimes it's about doing too much of what's not aligned. And that shifted how I work too. I didn't step away from work, I decided to step into it differently. I've been quietly supporting wellness brands that are impact-driven and mission-aligned, and helping them build wellness and marketing plans that feel intentional. Most of all, calm, aligned, and sustainable. I also wasn't being pulled in like 10 different directions now. I could show up fully and calm and regulated, and there was just like this deep sense of gratitude that I have for that. So, where am I now? I'm definitely not arriving anywhere. It's definitely been a practice. I've been building rhythms that my real life can actually hold. I'm still choosing clarity over chaos again and again and again. And I'm slowly deciding to show up in spaces that feel like they nourish me. And not to perform, YouTube nourishes me, but to belong and find a real sense of community. And I want to hold your hand from afar as I say this to you. If you are in a season where things feel like they're shifting, slowing down, or just being rebuilt, you are not behind. You are just responding to what life has been asking of you. And I'd love to know what this season is asking you to listen to. So that is my life update, and I'm excited to continue showing up here for you guys. I started my Substack again, and so if you want to go deeper in this conversation, I'll be writing more over there where I'm just going to share reflections and helpful, practical ways that we can help regulate our nervous system to build a better life and work-life balance. Until next time, see y'all.